In our exploration of the complex tapestry of human relationships, we find ourselves face to face with the second intriguing archetype, the incessant critic. Picture, if you will, a vast and varied landscape of interpersonal connections, where these relentless criticisms often reveal more about the critic than about the target of their observations. It's as though a brilliant spotlight illuminates the critic themselves, laying bare their true nature for all to see. As we ponder the crucial question of when it is wise to distance ourselves from such personalities, imagine stumbling upon a tranquil clearing, a haven amidst a dense forest, offering sanctuary for healthy relationships, far from the tempestuous whirlwind of ceaseless criticism. Envision the gossipers and rumor mongers as shadowy figures reminiscent of those found in a medieval village, their hushed conversations persisting even in your absence. Withdrawing from their presence is as prudent as a skilled navigator, steering clear of turbulent waters. These individuals, consumed by an obsession with highlighting the flaws of others to elevate their own status, bear a striking resemblance to participants in an elaborate masquerade ball, their true intentions concealed behind an array of disguises. As you immerse yourself in this video, you assume the role of a discerning spectator, keenly observing the critics and gossipers from a distance. It becomes evident that they are not engaged in constructive pursuits. Rather, they are the jesters in the grand spectacle of modern life, single-mindedly focused on degrading others to mask their own profound dissatisfaction. As we navigate this captivating narrative, it is crucial to remember the importance of selectively choosing those who will accompany us on our journey. The teachings of the Stoics, those ancient philosophers who sought to cultivate wisdom and resilience in the face of life's challenges, offer invaluable guidance in this regard. They remind us that true strength lies not in succumbing to the temptation to engage in petty criticism or gossip, but in rising above such base impulses and focusing on our own personal growth and development. By embracing the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control and letting go of what is not, we can begin to cultivate a sense of inner peace and equanimity, even in the face of the most persistent critics. We can learn to view their words and actions as mere externals, not allowing them to disturb our inner tranquility or derail us from our chosen path. In this way, we can transform the experience of encountering incessant critics from one of frustration and annoyance to one of opportunity and growth. By using their negativity as a catalyst for our own self-reflection and personal development, we can emerge from each encounter stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. So let us approach these intriguing characters with a spirit of curiosity and compassion, recognizing that their behavior often stems from their own inner struggles and insecurities. Let us use their presence in our lives as a reminder to cultivate our own inner strength and to stay true to our own values and convictions, even in the face of criticism and adversity. In doing so, we can transform the landscape of our relationships, creating a space where authenticity, growth, and mutual respect can flourish. We can become the architects of our own lives, building a foundation of trust and understanding that will support us through even the most challenging of times. In the intricate tapestry of human relationships, we encounter the fourth archetype, a veritable chameleon of communication, the pretender of attention. This figure is a master in the art of feigning interest, a consummate actor in the daily theater of our dialogues. Have you ever crossed paths with someone like this? An individual who automatically responds with phrases like, "I understand," or "that's true," yet whose eyes and mind wander far from the conversation at hand. This posture is not merely tedious, it carries an air of subtle disrespect, a disregard for the value of genuine engagement. More vexing still is when, given their turn to speak, this interlocutor dives headlong into the digital world of their cell phone, navigating a vast ocean of pixels while you endeavor to establish a meaningful connection. Their responses become mere empty echoes, devoid of weight or sincere interest, as though maintaining a facade of participation is sufficient without any real commitment to the exchange of ideas. In such moments, you might feel as though you are conversing with a wall, your words reverberating without ever reaching their intended destination. Frustration mounts as you come to realize that the other party is more deeply invested in notifications and virtual distractions than in the rich tapestry of human conversation. Here, a dilemma arises. Do you persist in your attempts to forge a dialogue with someone who is clearly uninterested? Or do you choose to end the interaction, respecting the value of your own time and effort? The answer, it seems, is clear. There is no wisdom in pouring one's energy into a bottomless vessel, no merit in casting pearls before those who would trample them underfoot. To value your own words and time is to recognize when they are not being appreciated, to refuse to squander them on those who would feign attention while lost in the labyrinth of their digital devices. Therefore, do not hesitate to walk away from such interactions, secure in the knowledge that you are not giving up, but rather choosing to invest your resources where they will be met with reciprocity and respect. In this context, the teachings of the Stoics offer invaluable guidance. They remind us that our time and attention are precious commodities, not to be frittered away on those who would not appreciate them. They encourage us to focus our energies on those interactions that truly enrich our lives, that offer a genuine exchange of ideas and emotions. By embracing this wisdom, we can cultivate a sense of inner tranquility, secure in the knowledge that we are investing our efforts where they will bear the most fruit. Moreover, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but we can always control our own response to them. When faced with someone who chooses to feign attention while distracted by their cell phone, we need not take it as a personal affront. Instead, we can view it as an opportunity to practice detachment, to observe the situation with a sense of equanimity and understanding. By choosing to walk away from such interactions, we are not passing judgment on the other person, but rather making a conscious decision to prioritize our own well-being and growth. We are choosing to engage in conversations that are reciprocal and meaningful, where each party is fully present, both in listening and in speaking. In this way, we can cultivate relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, rather than mere superficiality and distraction. Ultimately, the wisdom of the Stoics reminds us that the path to a fulfilling life is paved with mindful choices, with the courage to invest our time and energy where they will be most valued and appreciated. By embracing this philosophy, we can navigate the complex landscape of human relationships with grace and resilience, secure in the knowledge that we are always in control of our own responses, even in the face of those who would pretend at attention. In the intricate mosaic of human relationships, the fifth character emerges, the one devoid of empathy, whose inclination to deceive or harm others for personal gain reveals an alarming trait. Empathy is like a beacon in the darkness of indifference, allowing us to feel and understand the pain of others. Imagine empathy as an inner voice that questions us. What if it were me? This ability to put oneself in another's place is what makes us truly human, fostering trust and mutual understanding. When we encounter someone lacking this vital faculty, we find ourselves treading on perilous ground. These individuals, with their inability or reluctance to perceive and value the feelings of others, can easily cross the boundaries of respect and decency without a hint of remorse. They view those around them as mere pieces on a chessboard, moving them about without considering the emotional consequences of their actions. This lack of empathy goes beyond simple insensitivity. It is a deficiency in emotional understanding that manifests in harmful behaviors. These people can be masters of manipulation, wielding words and actions to achieve their goals without a second thought about the negative impact they may have on others. Moreover, an aversion to responsibility is a striking characteristic of these individuals. They might commit mistakes or cause harm to others, but they rarely take ownership of their actions. Instead, they find excuses or shift the blame, remaining ensconced in a bubble of self-justification. Thus, the lesson we draw here is of utmost importance. When dealing with people who demonstrate a clear lack of empathy, it is essential to maintain a high degree of caution. Their inability to value and understand the feelings of others renders them potentially dangerous in the realm of personal relationships. These individuals can not only inflict emotional harm, but also be sources of unnecessary confusion and conflict. Therefore, it is crucial to approach such people with a mixture of awareness and caution. The ability to recognize a lack of empathy in someone can be a valuable tool in protecting oneself against manipulations and deceptions. In these cases, trust should be reserved for those who demonstrate a genuine and sincere understanding of the impact of their actions on others. These are the people who, by comprehending the emotions of others, build relationships based on mutual respect and genuine consideration. As we navigate the challenges of interpersonal relationships, remembering that not everyone possesses the capacity or the willingness to empathize is key. This realization enables us to create stronger and more meaningful bonds with those who truly value and understand the complexities of the human heart. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who sought to cultivate wisdom and resilience in the face of life's trials, offer valuable guidance in this regard. They remind us that we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but we can always control our own responses to them. When faced with someone who lacks empathy, we need not take their behavior as a personal affront. Instead, we can view it as an opportunity to practice detachment, to observe the situation with a sense of equanimity and understanding. By choosing to maintain a healthy distance from such individuals, we are not passing judgment on them, but rather making a conscious decision to prioritize our own well-being and growth. We are choosing to engage in relationships that are built on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, rather than mere self-interest and manipulation. Ultimately, the wisdom of the Stoics teaches us that the path to a fulfilling life is paved with mindful choices, with the courage to invest our time and energy where they will be most valued and appreciated. By embracing this philosophy, we can navigate the complex landscape of human relationships with grace and resilience, secure in the knowledge that we are always in control of our own responses, even in the face of those who would seek to harm or deceive us. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and strength, allowing us to form genuine connections with those who truly understand the value of empathy and compassion. The seventh character emerges, shrouded in a cloud of perpetual challenges that hover ominously over their head. This individual seems to be trapped in an incessant cycle of conflicts and adversities, proclaiming to all who will listen that life is nothing more than a series of insurmountable obstacles. They exist in a constant state of dissatisfaction, their brow furrowed with the weight of their perceived burdens. Yet, what is most intriguing about this character is their apparent inability or unwillingness to alter the course of their circumstances, as though they are content to wallow in the mire of their own misfortune. This person seems to possess an uncanny knack for finding difficulties at every turn, as if they are a magnet for misery. They are characterized by an insatiable need to share their misfortunes with everyone around them, painting a vivid picture of their life as a labyrinthine maze of trials and tribulations. But upon closer examination, a more revealing truth comes to light. Often it is their own choices and actions that lead them down the path of these recurring problems, a fact they seem either unwilling or unable to acknowledge. The pattern of constantly facing problems is not mere coincidence or the result of some inexplicable misfortune. In many cases, it is a direct consequence of poorly calculated decisions and a stubborn refusal to learn from past mistakes. The person appears to be trapped in a vicious cycle of self-inflicted problems, a tangled web of complications that they themselves have woven with their own hands. They are like a sailor who continuously steers their ship into the same treacherous waters, never learning from the perilous rocks that have previously torn their hull asunder. When interacting with this type of individual, it is of the utmost importance to maintain a certain level of emotional distance. By becoming too deeply involved with them, you risk being drawn into their chaotic world, where their problems can quickly become your own, weighing heavily upon your shoulders like an oppressive burden. Their inability to manage their own emotions adds another layer of complexity to the situation, making involvement even riskier. It is as though they are a whirlpool of negativity, threatening to pull you under and drown you in the depths of their despair. It is advisable to approach this person with a healthy dose of skepticism, always keeping in mind the potential consequences of becoming too entangled in their affairs. When faced with their narratives of endless difficulties, it is important to remember that their problems can easily become a crushing weight for you to bear. Compassion is indeed a virtue, but it should never be exercised at the expense of your own well-being. There is a delicate balance to be struck between offering support and maintaining your own peace of mind. Remember that while everyone's life has its own unique set of challenges, absorbing someone else's difficulties can be an excessive burden, one that can quickly drain your emotional reserves and leave you feeling depleted. In certain situations, the most sensible choice is to maintain a safe distance, preserving your own sense of peace and balance. Sometimes in the complex dance of life, the wisest move is to step back and focus on taking care of your own well-being, lest you become consumed by the troubles of others. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who sought to cultivate a life of wisdom and resilience, offer valuable guidance in navigating these challenging relationships. They remind us that we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, but we can always control our own responses to them. When faced with someone who seems perpetually mired in problems, we need not allow ourselves to be dragged down into the muck with them. Instead, we can view their struggles as an opportunity to practice detachment, to observe the situation with a sense of equanimity and understanding. By choosing to maintain a healthy distance from such individuals, we are not abandoning them or passing judgment on their circumstances. Rather, we are making a conscious decision to prioritize our own well-being and growth, to focus our energies on cultivating a life of purpose and meaning. We are choosing to engage with the world in a way that uplifts and inspires, rather than becoming mired in the quicksand of endless problems and complaints. Ultimately, the wisdom of the Stoics teaches us that the path to a fulfilling life is paved with mindful choices, with the courage to take responsibility for our own happiness and well-being. By embracing this philosophy, we can navigate the complex landscape of human relationships with grace and resilience, secure in the knowledge that we have the power to shape our own destinies, even in the face of life's inevitable challenges. In doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner strength and purpose, allowing us to weather any storm and emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate than before. In the vast panorama of our tale about interpersonal relationships, the ninth and most complex character emerges: the toxic individual. Interacting with such people is akin to navigating an emotional minefield, filled with treacherous traps that can inflict deep wounds upon one's mental and emotional well-being. These individuals are the masters of negativity, expert practitioners in the art of sowing seeds of distrust and discomfort wherever they tread. Toxic traits manifest in various and insidious ways, like a noxious miasma that permeates every aspect of the relationship. It may be through a relentless barrage of criticisms that slowly erode one's sense of self-worth, chipping away at the very foundation of confidence and self-esteem. Or perhaps it takes the form of emotional manipulations, a twisted game of psychological chess designed to confuse and destabilize, leaving one questioning their own perceptions and intuitions. In other instances, it may be blatant displays of disrespectful behavior, a callous disregard for the feelings and boundaries of others that leaves deep scars upon the psyche. These individuals create a suffocating atmosphere, a veritable emotional prison where happiness and productivity are constantly undermined, slowly suffocated by the oppressive weight of negativity. The toxicity they perpetuate is like a virulent contagion, infecting the very air around them and spreading to all those unfortunate enough to be caught in their noxious web. Being in the company of such individuals is an exhausting journey, a Sisyphean task where each interaction becomes a grueling challenge to maintain one's emotional integrity in the face of an unrelenting onslaught. Recognizing toxicity is the first and most crucial step in protecting oneself from its corrosive influence. It is essential to develop a keen awareness of the telltale signs, from the subtle barbs of derogatory comments to the more overt displays of controlling attitudes. By understanding how these dynamics affect one's well-being, we can begin to erect emotional fortifications, a bulwark against the tide of negativity that threatens to engulf us. Respecting oneself means setting firm boundaries, drawing clear lines in the sand that toxic behavior shall not cross. It is about refusing to allow another person's dysfunction to invade and pollute our own emotional space, to stand firm in the face of their attempts to erode our sense of self. Communicating assertively is key, a potent weapon in the arsenal of emotional self-defense. Expressing discomfort in the face of toxic behavior is not merely a right, but a solemn duty, a sacred obligation to preserve the sanctity of our own mental health. However, there may come a time when negativity persists, when toxicity continues to seep through even the most stalwart of defenses. In such instances, the decision to distance oneself becomes not merely sensible, but imperative. It is a recognition that no amount of effort or goodwill can heal a relationship that is fundamentally poisoned, that the only path to liberation is through the severing of toxic ties. Emotional self-defense against toxic individuals is an essential practice, a vital skill in the art of living well. By identifying harmful behavior patterns, we empower ourselves to establish and maintain healthy boundaries, to create a sacred space where our well-being and dignity are inviolable. This is not merely an act of self-preservation, but a courageous step towards cultivating more positive and enriching relationships. A declaration of our inherent worth and value as human beings. Creating a space that nurtures well-being and positivity is an act of self-care, a radical assertion of our right to thrive and flourish. In the complex tapestry of human relationships, choosing to surround ourselves with people who contribute to our emotional health is not a luxury, but a necessity. It is about curating a garden of the soul, planting seeds of kindness, compassion, and mutual respect, while diligently weeding out the toxic influences that would choke the life from our spirit. Thus, by distancing ourselves from toxic individuals, we not only protect ourselves, but also pave the way for more authentic and meaningful connections. We create space for relationships that uplift and inspire, that challenge us to grow and evolve in ways that are nourishing and fulfilling. It is a powerful act of reclamation, a bold statement that we refuse to settle for anything less than the love and respect we inherently deserve. As we conclude this enlightening journey through the complex universe of human relationships, let us remember that every moment we spend together is a precious step in our collective journey of discovery and growth. By sharing these insights with others, we contribute to the ripple effect of positive change, creating a world where toxic influences are recognized and rejected, where healthy relationships are celebrated and cultivated. In the end, the choice is ours. Will we allow ourselves to be dragged down by the toxic influences in our lives, or will we rise above them, armed with the wisdom and fortitude of the Stoics? Will we settle for relationships that diminish and degrade us, or will we have the courage to seek out those that nurture and elevate our highest selves? The path may not be easy, but it is the only one that leads to true fulfillment and joy. So let us walk it together, hand in hand, united in our commitment to creating a world where love, respect, and emotional well-being reign supreme.